my passion does change, then I pivot.
It's almost riskier to not let yourself dream.
Live for you, do what you want, do what makes you happy.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, my name is Jay Vernekar, and I'm the Sidekick's faculty staff editor, and you are listening to Lifestyle Lessons.
As we are nearing the end of the school year, I can guarantee a majority of us are different people than who we were in August. Personally, this year has been a huge eye-opener for me. Simply put, I feel like junior year has taught me to expect the unexpected. Sometimes a conversation doesn't go how you imagined. A grade comes back worse than expected, and on a different note, you may even wake up one day and ask yourself, what am I really doing? A high school midlife crisis of sorts. In these moments, something that has helped me is the idea of pivoting, being open to change rather than running away from uncomfortable feelings. This mindset has especially helped me in the quote-unquote career department. As high schoolers, it feels like we need to have it all figured out. However, I believe if we simply open ourselves to experiencing rather than expecting, we can truly grow into the best version of ourselves. Today, I'm talking with Capel High School science teacher Sarah Grover and math teacher William Harrington-Pham to see how they have pivoted throughout their lives thus far. For everyone listening, welcome. Today I have Miss Grover and Mr. Harrington-Pham, and I first wanted to say that thank you guys for being here, first of all. I wanted to pick you guys, especially for this topic that I'm going to tell you guys about in a little bit, because you guys are just two of the brightest people I believe on campus. You guys make your students feel so supportive. A lot of my friends say that about you guys, so just thank you for being people like that on campus, and thank you for being here today.
Thanks for having us.
Of course. So, Ms. Grover, Mr. Harrington, over the past few days, I've been kind of thinking of this idea of a pivot in life and how change is something that as high schoolers and people in general, we should start embracing. And I feel like there's been a culture in high schoolers now where you kind of have to have everything figured out, especially for my senior friends. You know, you get to the fourth year of high school and the questions are, where do you want to go to college and why? But sometimes people don't have that figured out, and they sometimes pick one thing, but then 2 years into college, they pivot. I wanted to ask you guys, is this right now as a teacher, is this what you always wanted to do, or did you kind of find your way to CHS in an unexpected way?
Both. I will say I grew up in a family of educators, so I kind of just naturally fell into being a teacher. Was it my first choice for a career path? No, actually. My first career option that I thought I wanted to be was an engineer. I thought I wanted to build roller coasters. I always loved roller coasters. They brought so much fun and happiness to everyone. So I was like, I want to do that. I want to bring that joy and happiness to everyone else through the world of engineering, through the world of physics.
Did you play Roller Coaster Tycoon as a kid?
Absolutely.
Is that a video
Yes,
game?
it's a computer game, and it was the best
Wow.
ever. We're aging ourselves.
So
together.
I do not. So
I feel that.
Yeah.
I never actually pursued that, but I love the game so much that I was like, could I maybe one day?
But I found a job in everything through Disney World. It's called an Imagineer. And
wow.
I literally, for lack of better terms, I had my career picked out, ready to go, and I was ready to go. I was like, I'm going to choose engineering, mechanical engineering, and electrical engineering.
Wow.
I'm going to major in this. I'm going to minor in this. I'm going to go to school here, go to school that. And then I realized I don't want to turn something I love into something that I work for, if that makes any sense. Like, I don't want to turn a passion into work, because then I don't want to end up hating it.
That's I know that's a thing that people think about, but I always kind of felt like molding it might be
right.
one
You got to
route.
find that right balance.
Right. Yeah.
Because that's what happened to me with violin. I absolutely love violin. And then when I went to UNT for music, because I also thought I was going to be a music major, which that's why I went to UNT. And then I went there, and literally within the first couple months of playing violin at UNT, they just dug it to the ground for me. And I just ended up not enjoying it. So right there, for me, that was like 15 plus years of violin down the drain within like a couple months. Yeah. So I was like, oh, I thought I wanted to do this. And now y'all kind of actually made me look at my violin like a piece of firewood now. So maybe that's not a path I'm going to go down. So we're going to cross that one off the list.
Yeah. I love that. Yeah, I always knew I wanted to do something in science because I just grew up loving science. And so I just kind of started looking. I'm like, what could I do? And so I actually originally went to the University of Oklahoma in the pathway of nursing. So I was doing all the pre-nursing requisites to then apply to go to nursing school. And then I realized pretty quickly that working with real live people and live tissue and live
blood
fluids was
fluids
not for me. And what was funny though is I still very much like love life science, but I knew that practicing aspect like wasn't for me. And so I'm a person of faith. And so I just remember like, hoping and praying that I'd figure something out, whatever. And then it was actually kind of my mom who was like, what have you taught? My mom was a biology teacher for many years before she actually became a nurse when she was in her 40s. And she was like, if you find that you're missing it, you could always go back to school like I did. And I was like, that's so true. And so then I majored in secondary science education. Okay. And so I have technically kind of been in my career, most of my life. But it's so funny. I don't know, William, but I feel like at this school and through a lot of educators, it's actually kind of rare to find an educator who has spent their whole life in education.
Who set out to do this.
Yeah. So many, they go corporate and then they go education or, they do a lot of different jobs and land in education. And then there's the reverse. There's a lot of people that start as teachers and then go somewhere else, That right there is testament that you can change. You can study something and do something else. You can go into a career and totally pivot. We can all do it, Yeah.
And I was one of those kids that's when I was in college, I was always the one planning out my semesters. I was always the one all right, if I do this in this semester, then my first year of teaching, if I do this semester, I was constantly planning every little detail I possibly could. But of course, life happens and doesn't always work out that way. Yeah. So but I also tell myself, and I even tell my students, it's you can plan as much as you possibly can, as much as you possibly want. Plan to your heart's content, because it also shows that you care, that you're invested. You want things to go a certain way. That's okay. So anyone that does plan out when they're gonna sleep, eat, breathe, when you do plan to the minute, I mean, that's fine. Just know that plans are fluid and you do need to be able to adapt in some regard.
Yeah. But I do think, especially in Coppell, we call it the bubble, right? We get so comfortable here.
Yeah. Because it is home.
It is home. And it's a great place to grow up. And I wouldn't change anything about that. But I think sometimes when we do get so comfortable, we maybe hold some kids back from thinking that they can change and pivot,
and that they are capable of
bigger things.
Their own expectations.
Yes, absolutely.
I feel like it's almost riskier to not let yourself dream and think of what you can be and just kind of stick to what you're told to be or what you think you need to be because other people around you are doing that.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of kids are just, me as well, it's nervous to admit that we don't all have it figured out. Yeah. And there's so many people that don't, but they just say that they do. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I wanted to ask you guys that question because I wanted my audience to kind of hear how there's so many people around us throughout our entire day that they make small micro decisions or macro decisions in their life that led them to who they are today. And they still want to be happy. If we all follow our passions, then there are inevitably going to be people who are passionate about being a lawyer and being an engineer or being a doctor. And they would far exceed they would be so much better at it because they're passionate about it than someone being forced into it.
And that's where burnout comes in.
Yeah, it's so very true. And I feel like when you really are passionate about something, that's where true joy comes through. Mm-hmm. And I think that's why maybe what you were kind of so kindly complimenting us on before does shine through because we're here because we love it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I don't want to speak for anyone else because I do believe that there's lots of teachers that love what they do. But let's get real. There's a lot of teachers that are still doing what they're doing because they've always done it. Mm-hmm. And maybe that passion isn't there anymore. Yeah. And that's okay. But I think that is what makes our connections with our students and with our courses and stuff so special because we are here for the kids. We're here for the content. I love talking about, all the life science aspects and showing people, look how cool your body is. There's this many connections, and stuff like that. And so I think that really comes across. And I've always said, I know this is kind of an intense saying, but I've always said the second for me personally that goes, I go. Because I would never want anything but a happy, joyful, bright classroom fueled by my passion.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And if my passion does change, then I pivot.
Yeah.
Just like we're talking about,
Ooh, that was really good. I really like that.
Clock it.
Yeah. Because that is what I'm trying to say. It's you have to feel it, and then you can move.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
And it's okay to not be who you were probably a year ago.
Yeah.
Or what you liked to do 2 years ago. And that should be accepted.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And like, it is so important to do something that you love, because trying to be someone that you want to be perceived as is not a way to live life.
Yeah.
So it's live for you, do what you want, do what makes you happy. You don't have to be a surgeon. You don't have to be a lawyer. You don't have to be a job or some occupation that's going to bring in 6 figures or whatever. If you're happy being a teacher, if you're happy gardening, if you're happy being a plumber, all that matters is that you're happy and healthy.
Yeah.
So if that means you got to pivot your plan into something else to make yourself happy, all for it. That's okay.
You know, Ms. Grover and Mr. Harrington-Pham, my big hope and dream for this episode is that someone would listen to it and kind of take a physical and metaphorical deep breath and kind of feel like it's okay that I don't have it figured out. So what's the next step forward? So, and because I don't want to say, it kind of is easier said than done to pivot, but to actually do it takes a lot of bravery and courage for students to admit that they've been telling themselves this narrative about their life, about their future, and they're going to have to get rid of that and start fresh. And that can be very daunting. So for someone, hypothetically, a student who were to come to you guys saying, I don't know what I want to do with my life, and that's okay, what would you tell them?
Try something out. Like, whatever you try it, you don't have to find what you love on the first try. Okay. So like several of my students were even talking about like college life, and they're like, I don't even know what I'm going to do about this. What if I don't like it? And I'm like, if you don't like it, that's okay. Like, you're going to major in pre-med or whatever. If you get there and you're like, this ain't for me, homie, that's okay. Like, you can try other things. You're not locked into one thing for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
So I can almost guarantee you a huge chunk of every senior graduating class is going to change their major within their first year. It's great to have a plan, but just know it can change at the drop of a hat. And that change may be for the better.
Yeah.
I know, like, at the high school level, like, when I do have kids who come and ask me, one of my favorite things to do is to kind of research with them. Like, there's been many times where I use ChatGPT and I'm like, stop. Everyone does it, guys. It's fine.
It's the new thing.
But like, it's so fun. Like, I'll be like, you know, what are you interested in? Like, what's your favorite subjects? A couple questions. And like, literally you can give it a prompt of like, what are some jobs or majors that include these interests?
Yeah.
And boom, boom, boom.
Great
like,
way to use
yes,
ChatGPT.
right. Like, we were going through and I was like, I didn't even know some of these things were around. Like, I have some kids that are so creative, but they don't want to do art. And I'm like, how about advertising? You could literally make these beautiful Canva things you make in class. You could make that for a company, you know, like, you know, things like that. They now have social media coordinators for about every single company. Like, there's just so much out there that I feel like so many of our kids don't even know about, because I feel like we know the big ones, the medicine, the business, the lawyer, the this, but it's like, there's like actually like so much that we don't even think about. So I would encourage anyone to like talk to a trusted adult and like, you know, maybe that's your teacher, maybe that's your parent, maybe it's your counselor, and just kind of see what's out there. But especially realizing that you're not alone and that it will be okay. And the last thing I would also say too, for people that maybe are already in college, or maybe they're even out of college and they're sitting there and they're thinking, well, I'm kind of in a rut. Like, maybe I do need to pivot. Do it. Like, apply for that job. Even if you don't know if you're qualified, if you have no idea what it is, I feel like you can do anything for 6 months to a year. Absolutely. Like, give it a go. My own little brother is kind of in that stage of life right now where he like kind of has a job right now. He's not sure if he really loves it. Yeah. He's going to stick it out for a year, try and find the joy, see if there's ways to pivot within that job. And if not, he's ready to look for other things. And it might be something totally different. But what do you have to lose? You get the job, you hate it, hang in there for a little bit, pivot. Yeah.
Thank you. That was very well said. So I just want to say another huge thank you for both of you guys for being here today. And I really appreciate you guys.
Thank you, Jay. You are amazing. We appreciate you.
That was probably one of the most eye-opening conversations I've had in a while. My favorite part was how Miss Grover and Mr. Harrington-Pham both encouraged change and didn't shy away from the fact that it was a central component of who they are today. If you're listening to this podcast, I hope you feel empowered about what is coming your way and not worried. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Lifestyle Lessons. This is Jay Vernekar from the Sidekick signing out.